swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Have a seat. You're under oath. Please state and spell your name, please.
First name Paul, last name common spelling Paul, last name Houtos, H-O-U-T as in Tom, O-S as in Sam.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What is your occupation, sir?
Police officer for the City of Warren.
All right. And how long have you been a police officer in total, sir?
Total 30 years in a couple of weeks.
Okay, great. Officer, what is your current title?
Captain, I run the Patrol Services Bureau for the Warren Police Department.
All right. And I want to take you back, though, to around the date of, well, let's start with between July 2024, July 1st, 2024, and September 30th of 2024. Were you working in a different capacity for the Warren Police Department at that point?
I was the professional standards captain for the Warren Police Department.
Okay. And as a professional standards captain, would you have been involved in certain policy changes that were occurring at the City of Warren Police Department at that time?
I would have.
All right. And are you familiar with a specific policy 24-31 of the Warren Police Department?
I believe that's our pursuit policy.
The pursuit
Yes.
policy, correct. Okay. All right. You are familiar with that?
Yes.
All right. Back in July of 2024, was there a change or an addition to that pursuit policy that you are aware of and that you were involved with implementing?
Yes.
Okay. And that specific policy, did that have to do with the flock camera system and how officers should respond to a pursuit dealing with a flock camera system?
Yes.
Okay. And tell us, when implementing that particular policy back in July of 2024, ultimately, who decides, yes, we are going to go ahead and implement that policy and then put it out to the officers who are employed with the Warren Police Department?
So just for a little background on that, if I may, I was during that time period, I was the accreditation manager for our police department, and we were going through our reaccreditation. It's a 3-year process we go through to make sure the department complies with or is acting upon industry best standards and practices. So at that time period, I believe early in August, we had our on-site assessment. So we were working with our assessors who noticed something in our policy, and they recommended, because we had flock cameras, we were using flock cameras as an agency, we should have something within our pursuit policy to address how we respond to a flock camera hit.
All right. And the purpose of the policy, well, what is the purpose of having a policy on the flock system with regards to pursuits?
Well,
What's
it's
the overall purpose of it?
to give our officers guidelines on how to treat a flock hit or respond to a flock hit.
All right. And then in giving them those guidelines, is that so that officers are acting within the bounds of the law in the state of Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. Because ultimately, the statutes of the state of Michigan control what an officer can do or not do, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the meeting. This is like the third one.
Sure. Well,
Caution you, just rephrase, please.
sure, right. So when formulating policies, what types of things are you considering?
State law, statutes, also, and again, when getting into, from an accreditation side, looking at best practices, what are other agencies within our industry doing that are working?
Okay, all right. And so when this particular policy came about, who ultimately then approves that policy and implements it?
The policy recommendation is made by myself. I would submit that to our, at the time, Charles Rushton, who was our acting police commissioner, and he makes the ultimate decision on whether to accept the policy change, revision, or maintain what we've been doing. that would be, he's the deciding factor in that.
All right. And so in this particular case, with regards to that pursuit policy 2431, was that what happened?
Yes.
Okay. And so once that new policy was adopted, and do you recall the date that that policy was, I guess, signed into by Chief Rushton and it was adopted?
I don't remember the date he signed it. I know when it was sent out to our officers,
Okay.
our employees to.
All right. And when was that?
It was July 10th.
Okay. Of 2024?
Yes.
All right. And so once a policy is implemented, it's then disseminated to all the officers. How is that done?
So we have a record management program we use called Power DMS. It's recommended. The DMS stands for Document Management System, and it's the preferred vendor for our the accreditation program that we belong to. And that record management system is there to show if the officers receive the information, dates they signed, when it was reviewed. It allows us to also go back and look at records from the past. It maintains policies and procedures from previous revised copies.
All right. And so have you reviewed some records regards to that Power DMS sending out that particular policy back in July of 2024? That's a good question. I know I kind of flubbed that one. Let me start over again. So, as part of your job and in your position, are you familiar with and have you reviewed documents from that system with regards to officers and whether they have acknowledged that policy or not?
I have seen that, yes.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to start with the policy. Once it's sent out through that Power DMS system, how is an officer notified specifically that there is a policy that they need to acknowledge and review?
The Power DMS programs set up to send a daily notification to the officer that there is something in their inbox. It may not be specific that it is in this case, pursuit policy, but there is something pending in their inbox that they have to review and sign.
All right. And you said that email is sent out daily once it is sent out from that initial time that they send out the policy?
Yes, from Power DMS to the officer's department.
Okay.
Actually, all employees.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right. And that's sent to like an email system that the officers are responsible for keeping up with?
Yes.
Okay. And how long does an officer have once they've received that policy to acknowledge it in that Power DMS system?
It's either 30 or 60 days. I'm not sure. I thought it was 30 days, but it may be 60 days.
Okay. All right. And you had a chance to review the records with regards to Officer Burke and his acknowledgement of this particular policy?
I have.
Okay. And you recall in your review of those records, in your Power DMS system, does it show that Officer Burke ever acknowledged that particular policy?
I believe the policy was signed on September 11th of 2024.
Okay. Would seeing it help to refresh your memory?
It would.
All right. Just kind of roll up to. All right. Okay. And so
Yep.
here's the front page just so you can see.
Okay.
This column is the second to last column is at your signature time when it was acknowledged?
Yeah, that would be the date and time the policy was signed, and then the last one would be the due date for it.
Okay,
So,
all right. And then if we can just flip to, can you find the pursuit policies and just review that to yourself, please?
yep. Signed on 7/10 of 24, and it's showing that it was unsigned, and the due date was 9/11 of 2024.
Okay, so just so we're clear,
Yes.
you've had a chance to review that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. you said something about 7/10/24. What does that date mean?
That was the date that the document was published in Power DMS for review.
Okay, to Officer Burke,
Yes, well,
Okay.
to the entire department, yes.
including Officer Burke. correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you indicated unsigned. What does that mean?
It means that he did not, it is, I don't know if anyone has this type of system, but basically the system is set up to force an officer or an employee to read the document, and in the end, they can electronically sign it. And there's usually a time frame. The longer the policy, the longer the time period is. It's used very commonly, and I think in the medical
Okay.
field.
All right, and is that where that 60 to 90 days comes in, or 30 to 90, 30, I think you said 30 to 60 days, correct? Comes in, depending on the policy and what's involved with it, depends on kind of how much time you have.
Yeah, and again, I don't know where that, where the time frame is set.
Okay.
I believe it's done by
All right,
our.
you're not the person who sets the time.
That is correct.
Okay, all right, and then in this particular, for this particular policy, based on your review of the records, do you recall what the deadline was to acknowledge that policy?
Well, according to what I just read, it was September 11th of 2024.
Okay, all right. And so, as of September 11th, 2024, or as of, well, let me ask you this. That was the deadline, and the records indicate it's never been acknowledged. Is that what those records say?
Yeah, at least until the date that,
Okay.
when that
All right.
document was received by you.
Okay. And when you, did you also have a chance to review Officer Rodolfo's records as well?
I did.
Okay. And did he acknowledge this pursuit policy at some point as well?
He did.
All right. Do you recall what that date was?
I believe it was almost immediately, within a day or two.
Okay. If you saw it, would that help to refresh your memory as to the exact date?
It would.
Higher. Yep.
It shows.
Okay. You've had a chance to look at that?
Oh, it was actually, it was signed on 4/20. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, there's, signed 8/13 of 24. I
August
apologize.
15th of 2024. A second here. Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you.
Just 1 minute, Your Honor. If I can.
Sure.
Thank you for your patience, Hunter. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon.
Okay, let's talk about the policy that Mr. Newman and you were just talking about.
Okay.
Is policy law?
Law does dictate parts of policy, yes.
Listen to my question carefully. Is policy law?
As in like state law?
Yes. Is it codified by the state legislature
It
and
is
signed by
not.
the governor?
It is not.
In fact, the only person who decides whether a policy is implemented or not is the commissioner.
That is correct.
Okay. There's no, besides you doing the research and you making a recommendation, the person who makes the decision in regards to the policy is the commissioner at the time that signs it.
That is correct.
Okay. There is no vetting. There is no, I mean, you're vetting, but I mean, if a law goes through a House, goes through the Senate, goes to the governor, goes through a debate, but there isn't any of that in regards to a policy when it boils down to it. The chief says it is or it isn't.
Aaron, I'm going to object this question.
Right.
Here's the issue, Judge,
Okay,
that,
but you gotta ask it, you didn't, there was no question,
oh, I'm sorry, yes.
so you gotta make.
That didn't happen.
Question and answer.
Okay. There was no, this was not enacted into law, this policy, correct?
It was not debated by legislator, no.
And you do research, and you, as regards to coming up with policies, do research and things of that nature as to what would be a good policy and not be a good policy, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And that's part of the accreditation process.
that is correct.
All right. And as part of that, do you review, how often do you review your policies?
When I was in that position, on a regular basis, again, it's a 3-year cycle. There's certain policies that are implemented more often, pursuit policy being one of them. That's something that may occur on a regular basis. If an officer is involved in a pursuit, we do a meaningful review of that pursuit, which there's 4 things that we look at. The training, is there any training that needs to happen? Is there any equipment that could help us do this better? Was the pursuit within policy, and is there any recommended discipline? If there's any of that, we may change our policy for that. But if it was something that, is a rarely used policy, we may not look at it on a regular basis.
How many policies does the Warren Police Department have?
I'm guessing over 200.
There were 200 policies in regards to the operations of what?
Everything.
What do you mean by, give
Everything.
examples?
From our IT department, what their responsibilities are, uses of non-lethal force, use of force, jail operations, arrest procedures. I could go on and on.
Correct. There are multitude of policies, correct?
Yes.
And anything from where you should wear your badge to where you should check your vehicle at, to sick leave, to time off, anything of that nature, correct?
Again, is there a question?
I said, is that correct?
You did.
It is correct.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit B.
Okay.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
This is the pursuit driving policy that was put into effect on July 10th of 2024.
Okay. And it says procedure confidential document at the top, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And why is it marked as confidential?
Well, there's certain interest, security interest for the department, and if we were to say, just for instance, no pursuit shall go over 10 miles an hour, everyone would drive 11 miles an hour to get away from us. So we want to keep that information private.
Okay. Your Honor, just for the record, in introducing this, Mr. Newman and I are going to agree that this document should be admitted as an exhibit, but not put in any public file or any way released that it would be viewed by the public.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
People would definitely.
It's admitted with that caveat.
Thank you, Your Honor. Captain, what is the definition of a pursuit?
Pursuit is an officer's attempt to apprehend someone who is fleeing from some kind of lawful action.
Okay. You have a policy right in front of you.
I do.
Okay. What is a pursuit?
You want me to read it verbatim, sir?
Yes, please.
Pursuit means an active attempt by a police officer in an authorized emergency vehicle to apprehend one or more occupants of another moving vehicle when the driver of the fleeing vehicle is attempting to avoid apprehension by maintaining or increasing his/her speed or by ignoring the police officer's attempt to stop him or her. Would you like me to go?
No, you can stop there.
Okay.
So my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that a fleeing vehicle, as described in that pursuit policy, is a vehicle that an officer has attempted to stop, made their presence known, turned on their lights, tried to pull the vehicle over, and that vehicle flees.
That is correct.
Okay. Trying to catch up to a vehicle is not a pursuit, correct?
That is correct.
Now, the flock part that Mr. Newman asked you about in regards to that, that's on page 6 of 10.
Bullet point 6?
Correct.
Okay.
Can you read that part?
Any pursuit originating from a flock hit shall be treated as a moderate speed pursuit unless or until further confirmed information is available that would justify high speeds. For example, a mere felony hit without supporting information shall be governed as a moderate speed pursuit.
A felony flock hit without further information, correct?
That is correct.
So if the only thing that comes up is that flock hit, correct?
That is correct.
Do you take that in further information to be the totality of the circumstances that may be surrounding that vehicle?
Yes.
So if a briefing had taken place and officers were informed that there's a crew in the area operating ATM thefts between the hours of 3 to 5, the officers were briefed and were told that they're using Durangos or Jeeps, and that a Jeep flock hit came in, stolen vehicle, firearms in the car, that briefing occurred under the totality of the circumstances, would that be more information?
There would be more information.
High-speed response, correct?
Possibly.
Okay. Now, back to the front page, please.
Sure.
There is a very long paragraph above purpose.
The one that begins, this policy is for?
Yes, sir. If you could read that, please.
This policy is for internal use only and is not intended to enlarge an officer's civil or criminal liability in any way. It should not be construed as the creation of a higher level standard of safety or care in an evidentiary sense. With respect to third-party claims, the only legal duty of care is that which is imposed by law. Noncompliance herewith can be breach of an employment duty only, except insofar as such noncompliance is also in contravention of the law of the state of Michigan. As such, violations of this policy can only form the basis of disciplinary action within the department as provided by the agency's policy procedure, manual, and bargaining unit contract. In the event that a breach of the duties imposed by this policy also constitutes a breach of duty imposed by the law of the state of Michigan, nothing herein shall be construed to relieve one from liability for the breach of that legal duty.
Why is that paragraph in there?
Well, I guess the easiest way to say it, at the end of the day, state law is what governs how we
Okay. So
respond.
you helped draft this, correct?
Yeah, the revisions. I didn't
revisions.
create the original document.
You didn't write that paragraph, correct?
I did not.
Okay. Is it the intention of that paragraph is that this policy shall not be used or considered for criminal level charges against an officer, correct?
It would appear so, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So, officer, would state law trump the policy then?
Yes.
Okay. So an officer with the Warren Police Department has to know what the law is and abide by the law, just like any other citizen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You answered one question and you qualified it by saying possibly. What did you mean by that?
Could you-
When
Which question?
When you were talking about more information, in the policy, in the Flockett policy, it says if you have more information, then the situation may change. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And you said, and I believe counsel asked you, would that justify using more than moderate speed? And what was your answer?
Possibly.
Okay. What do you mean by possibly?
Well, when it comes to moderate speed, high speed, a lot of that really depends on there's so many variables involved, right?
Sure.
What would be considered a moderate speed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon driving through 9 Mile and Van Dyke may be, or high speed at 9 and Van Dyke at 3 o'clock in the morning versus some moderate speed would be more appropriate in the afternoon, right?
Sure.
Road traffic volume, pedestrian traffic, your nearest school, location obviously comes into play. Weather, there's so many different variables that have to be weighed. So you can't just take something
Sure.
based on one piece of information and make that decision.
Right. Okay. And how an officer decides to respond in terms of, well, let me rephrase that. When an officer's on duty, he has to use his discretion somewhat to determine how to respond to certain situations, correct?
Yes.
All right. With the understanding that there are laws in place also that govern what an officer can do and when an officer should do certain things, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any further. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing further.
Thank you. You may step down. Councilor Pro? All right, well, good news, we get to break a little early today. I think I have you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m., we will not be going to 6 tomorrow. I put us between 4 and 5, we'll see how things go. Will not be past 5, though.
All rise for the jury.
You may be seated. Anything for the record before we break? Anybody?
I believe so.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Thank you.